Hey everybody, this is Pete, and in this video I want to demonstrate a technique for taking the Inventor mass and making it a property that's viewable, searchable, etc. within Vault. Unfortunately, taking a look at a technical article, there's no direct way to map to the Inventor mass iProperty currently within Vault, so we're going to have to create a custom iProperty in order to store that value, and then we can create that property mapping in Vault. So it's a pretty simple example in this case, just some dimensional lumber. And if we take a look at the iProperties, I can look at the physical. You can see it does indeed have a mass based on wood. And what we need to do is create a an iProperty that's going to serve as the carrier for this value. So I'm just going to call this creatively vault mass. It's Monday. So I go ahead and add that value as text, but there's no direct way for me to grab that mass from the model and stick it in here. So I'm going to come over to iLogic and I'm going to make a simple rule, and we'll call this mass custom iProperty. Cool. And inside, we're going to grab that mass iProperty and we're going to give it the mass of the part. So we need to find the iProperties area, find the custom. So we're just going to say it's a custom iProperty. And I think I forgot to copy and paste the name, but it was pretty easy. It should just be vault mass. Whoops. And equal. And there is an iProperty for the mass. So we can actually grab the mass there. And we don't need this extra value, so we can delete that stuff. And so it will grab the property mass and assign it to our custom iProperty. Now, if you wanted additional information, like, hey, I want to know what the units are, we can put in pounds, etc. We could round this off. There's a lot we could do with the value, but we'll just kind of leave it simply for now. And then I always like to put in an update when done to make sure that we take care of all that stuff. It's updated the right way. And we save and run that. And we can see that it does indeed populate that new value with whatever that mass is. So it worked. So that's the first step. We had to get the Inventor part ready. Now we can save that and let's check it into the vault. So I always recommend putting a comment in here. We at least know what the status of the file is, why we did a check-in. And then once inside of Vault, now we need to refresh this. There's our file, but we need to actually have the property available. So to do that in Vault, we need to come up to the Tools, Administration, Vault Settings, and on the Behaviors tab, this is where we can add properties. So I'm going to create a new property, Vault Mass, and what is it associated to? Well, files in my case, not categories or folders. It's associated with files. And now we get to say, well, what kind of property is it? How are we going to map it? So we're going to go ahead and click here to do a new mapping. It's a file, right? We got that from the previous screen, but what kind of file? Well, it's an Inventor file. So I find Inventor. What property are we looking for? This is where we could look on the local file, or because we already checked it into Vault, we can just import it from the Vault. We'll have to navigate to that location, which is Designs, Testing, at least on my side. All the way down here, here's Vault Mass Mapping, and there's the file. Double click on it or hit OK. And then which property are we looking for? Well, the Vault Mass. So that's the property that we're now mapping into the Vault to the Inventor file. And you can control the directionality. Is it from the file to the Vault? Is it from the Vault to the property? Is it bidirectional? There's all sorts of things that you can do in here I'm not going to cover. I'm not the world's best Vault user, but I want to at least give you the basics for setting up this mapping. So we hit OK, and now there is the mapping. So now we come back to this file here, and what we need to do is we need to add in that property. So we can customize the view so that we can see it. Pick the views. We'll say all the versions. Come down to find our vault mass. We'll add that. And just so we can see it right away, we'll move it up right next to the name. Oop, or head down one. Go ahead and hit OK. Hit close. And there it isn't. Now, the reason we're having some trouble with it is we've got the property in there, but we checked this file in before we built the mapping. So we need to make sure that we've activated that property. So we just make sure we have the file selected. We go to Actions, Add or Remove a property. We're going to go down to the Vault Mass, and we want to add that property. So we hit OK, and now it displays. So that's how we can take care of it with a file that is already in the vault. So that's the process for adding the mass to the Inventor part, adding that property to vault, getting it all mapped, squared away, active, added, and then we can now view this property within Vault. Hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and have a blessed day.